Hey folks, Malforian here, welcome back to another video. No dev diary again this week. I saw a post saying they're going to be back in early March at some point, so I thought we'd just do a quick video on another discussion topic, just so we can have a little nice chat about the game and all that kind of fun stuff. So yeah, this week we're going to be talking about the DLC for the game, what we've had so far, and where we might be going in the near future in the game. So what we've had so far is the flavor pack, the Northern Lords, which I think is probably some of the best DLC Paradox has put out. Really enjoy it. It's got loads of cool mechanics, you know, the Varangian adventures and all that cool stuff. We've also obviously just had the Royal Court expansion come out, which I know some people weren't super happy about, like how much content there was in there, but I think it really did flesh out the game. Added a lot of cool mechanics. The court life stuff is really cool. It's unfortunate you can't play it if you're tribal, but I can, I guess, kind of see why that happened. But yeah, I've been really happy with those two bits of content so far. Obviously, it'd be better if they'd come a little bit quicker. A bit too much of a gap there in the timeline of that DLC coming out. So before we get into where I think the game might be going in the near future, I just want to talk about DLC in Paradox games. So when the game launched, Paradox came out and said, you know, for CK3 we're going to change how we do DLC. We're not going to do kind of the same as CK2, where there was a lot of DLC, you know, pretty famous for it. A lot of flavor packs, a lot of just content packs and expansions, and, you know, DLC was coming out every 2 minutes, which was fun, you know, fun to do. But I think CK2 and EU4 have the same issue, where there's a lot of DLC, but the DLC doesn't really talk to each other. It's a lot of standalone DLC that doesn't really, you know, mechanics come out, and then the next DLC has more mechanics, but they don't talk to each other. They're just more and more systems, you know, adding that kind of complexity, but almost complexity for the sake of it, which, you know, isn't that fun. And, you know, if you try and play EU4 now, it's a bit of a mess, if we're being honest, and I really think they should prune back some of the stuff they've added, which they're not going to do, but you know, that's another discussion. Looking at what has been released so far for CK3, I'm hoping that they do take that to heart and they, you know, bring DLC out that interacts with the previous DLC. I know we can't fully do that because obviously if you don't own the DLC, you know, if you pick and mix which DLC you buy, you don't want to be losing systems from one thing. So, you know, I understand it's not perfect. Like we've had so far, the Royal Court has come out. I hope the next, you know, flavor pack, the next expansion adds content to the Royal Court. You know, maybe we get another room, we get just, you know, expansions, we get more mechanics in the Royal Court. At worst, just more events, you know, that happen in there. I think there's quite a lot now. There's a lot of funny ones, you know, the headless man and things like that. If the next content pack comes out and it doesn't interact with the Royal Court at all, I'll be pretty disappointed, if I'm honest. So where do I think the game is going next? Well, if you own the Royal Edition of the game, you'll know the next DLC we're probably going to get is going to be another flavor pack, because if you had the Royal Edition, that came with 2 flavor packs and an expansion, so, you know, 99% the next DLC is going to be another flavor pack. Now my hope, and I'm sure many of your hope, is that it's going to be Byzantium. I think they'll do Byzantium, they'll flesh out the mechanics, you know, bring in the Imperial Court, kind of redo how maybe general governors work and things like that. You know, the imperial decline of Eastern Rome, you know, I don't know how they build that in, but the problem with the base game is, as you're all aware, is that Byzantium just goes nuts, and it's very rare they go badly. Sometimes the Mongols get them, sometimes they do just randomly fall apart through civil wars, but if you play CK2, there's a lot more flavour to playing the Byzantines, playing the Byzantines, whereas at the moment it basically plays like any other empire, but you get primogeniture from the start, which is basically a cheat mechanic. And yeah, it's fun, but there's definitely a lot missing, and I know a lot of people weren't happy that it was missing when the game first came out. So that'll be my idea for the next flavor pack. I think it'd be really good. I also think they might add some empire mechanics in the same thing, maybe as part of the free patch, just kind of juicing up empires a little bit, like how they play. Nothing crazy, but I think the problem with empires is they play exactly the same as kingdoms, and, you know, it's fun, but I kind of wish there was something else. I don't know what it would be, but, you know, something just to kind of spice up playing as an empire versus a kingdom, just so it kind of does feel a little bit different from each other. The other idea I had for a flavor pack is probably not like a remake, but a fleshing out of the Islamic realms, you know, the Abbasids, the Umayyads. Again, there's a lot of content in CK3, but I think using flavor packs like we saw in Northern Lords to kind of you know, well, build flavor in different areas of the map, so it feels vastly different, is definitely where they're gonna, you know, go with the content. And again, similar to the Byzantines, you know, playing as those, the Umayyads and, you know, the Abbasids and all those, is kind. I know you have clan government, but it does again play quite similar to other areas. And in CK2, it was quite a bit different with all the different mechanics they had. Once you, I think it was the Sword of Islam DLC, brought a lot of cool mechanics in for those realms. So that'd be my other idea for the next flavor pack. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. You know, would you be happy with those two? Is there another flavor pack, another area of the map that you would like them to flesh out? You know, India, the steppe, you know, Mongol DLC. I'm sure everyone would love that. And then, yeah, we're on to the next expansion. So as we've seen, expansions so far anyway, from our limited sample size, have been really where we've had major reworks of mechanics or new, you know, tools and things like that added into the game. So, you know, we saw the massive culture rework as part of the Royal Court, and obviously all the Royal Court mechanics. Really, that's what it looks like they're using expansions for, which makes sense. So I think the next expansion is going to be trade. That'd be my idea. We'd get Merchant Republics back in the game. Oh, they were obviously CK2. We could have some kind of not simplistic, but kind of a first iteration of trade. There's a few really good mods, if you've ever seen them in the workshop, which add trade, and I think they work quite well. And trade was in CK2. I don't want anything crazy like EU4 style trade, but I think having some kind of, you know, Silk Road and other little bits of trade and using shipping maybe, because boats are basically non-existent in the game, to be honest, would be a cool way of adding an expansion that actually like majorly changed areas. But again, if you didn't buy the expansion, it wouldn't feel like you were super missing out. This would also, I think, bring some changes to the money economy in the game, because, you know, if you've played, you know, once you get like 100 years, 200 years into your gameplay, if you really focus on some things, you could be making silly amounts of money, and then it's basically you just win unless, you know, you mess something up with your dynasty or something like that. We could also see buildings remade, and the one thing I would want is a special buildings map mode. Just add that for free, please, in the game. I would just love that, because it's really annoying trying to find special buildings in the map. So I'd just be happy just for that. So yeah, that'd be my idea for the first expansion. I mean, there's loads of ideas. You know, we could redo Crusades. You could, you know, there's a million ideas, but that'd be the one I think would add a lot. And again, both of these added together, Byzantines and trade, would add in, I think, features a lot of people weren't happy were missing from the base game after they were in CK2. So that would be my idea. As always, like I say, just, you know, leave a comment. Do you agree, disagree? You know, is that what you're looking for the future of Crusader Kings, or do you want them to go in a different direction? Do you want them to add China? I know it comes up every time I live stream on the channel. Everyone's always like, when are they adding China? It's not going to happen. So, well, it will do in like 10 years. But yeah, anyway, that's just a quick discussion today. As I say, no dev diary, so I thought we'd just have a chat about the DLC. Yeah, I'll see you in the next video.